Hey everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. Today we have a peanut buttery surprise for you. We're going to share with you our wonderful scratch-made recipe for these delicious peanut butter bars. You won't want to miss a thing, so stay with us. Okay, let's get this beautiful peanut butter cake bar started. We have a half a cup of butter that's melting in a boiler. To that, we're going to add a fourth of a cup of creamy peanut butter. And this becomes just a wonderful set of wet ingredients for our cake. Once the butter melts, the peanut butter will as well. And to that, we're going to add 1 cup of water to help things along. You just want this to just come to just a soft boil. It won't take long once that butter melts. Okay, now we've come to just a soft boil, and I'm going to make sure that that butter is melted all the way. I used cold butter right out of the refrigerator, so it takes a little bit longer. But once you see that boiling around the edges, you just turn the heat off and remove it from the heat and allow it to cool for about 5 minutes. Now to a large bowl, we're going to mix our dry ingredients. We're going to mix in 2 cups of cake flour. We're going to add in 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, and I'm just going to use my handy dandy sifter to sift those together. Making sure we get all the clumps out from that brown sugar. Now we add in about a teaspoon of salt. Always salt in the sweet to enhance those sweet flavors and provide balance in your cake. Now that butter, water, and peanut butter mixture goes right in. And we'll just stir that to mix. Once we get that all nice and mixed, I like to just take my spatula and scrape down the sides. That's one thing I believe in because there are all kind of nooks and crannies in a mixing bowl. So we'll scrape down the sides, and now we're going to add in a few more components. All right, now we're going to add in about a half a cup of buttermilk. Buttermilk and cake is one of my favorite things. Get that mixed in, scraping down the sides, making sure we get all that flour and sugar incorporated. And of course, I'm making a mess. And to that, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Mix that in. And 2 eggs. And yes, you can whip them beforehand. I like to just save a little time, use my spatula, break them up, and then kind of fold the eggs in. Mixing it really well. Now I am using a 9x13 glass baking dish because I want these more like bars, and spray it lightly with cooking spray and pour that in. This will go into a 350-degree oven for just about 20-30 minutes until that cake is nice and set or reaches 205 degrees internal temperature. Now let's mix up a creamy peanut butter ganache icing. So to our another boiler, we have 3/4 cup of butter that we're adding. And then a half a cup of creamy peanut butter. Again, you could also use crunchy here. That creates a nice texture element to this nice icing that we're about to make. Now we're going to add in a quarter cup of buttermilk. And just melt that all together. Now, once that comes to just a small boil, we're just going to remove it from the heat and allow it to just come down. Now we're going to add in about a tablespoon, yes, a tablespoon of vanilla. That really helps this icing set up, believe it or not. Then we're going to get that mixed in. And then I have 3 cups of powdered sugar, and I'm going to add that just a little at a time till it gets the consistency that I want. So that was 1 cup. That's 2 cups. And adding it slowly like this helps you get the lumps out a little easier too, because it just can. And that's 3. And this makes a beautiful peanut butter ganache. You will not be sorry that you made this icing. Now we have our cake out of the oven. It's cooled just long enough for us to mix that icing up. And we're going to pour it right over the top. We allow these two things to cool together and for this to set so that it all happens at the same time. About 30 minutes if you want to speed it up, you can put it in the fridge. Now we'll come back and show you how perfect it is. So stay with us. Okay, so we're back. We finished that rest time on the cake and let it cool completely. We made that frosting, put it on top, and let it set and continue to cool to room temperature. And it's almost like a peanut butter ganache. I mean, it's absolutely perfect. So now is the real test. And what I love about it is whenever you cut that peanut buttery ganache, it just kind of, and put the bar on the plate, it just kind of spills over on that cakey bar yumminess. So let's have a big old bite. Mmm. I got too big of a big old bite. Oh, but really, it's perfect. The peanut butter is not overpowering. It's not too sweet. This is something that you could do when you need just a touch of sweet. And if you're a peanut butter lover like I am, this is a real tasty way to get your fix. Now, it's a bar because the consistency is a little dense. However, it's pretty much cake. It's just a very dense cake, a little heavy. So I tend to cut it in bars to serve it because, you know, you get a little bit more than you do with a piece of cake. Mind over matter, right? So just like all of our other recipes, this one can be found over at thebutteredhome.com. Nice, free printable recipe to you and room in the margins where you can make notes to make this recipe your own. As always, if you're not following us on all of our social channels, we would love for you to join us wherever we are. We have a really good time. And if you want all of our videos in one convenient place, head over to YouTube, search for The Buttered Home, and when you find us, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you can be notified when we drop new videos like this one. All right, I'm going to eat my one piece of cake, and then I'm going to give the rest of it away. Don't you want to come live in my neighborhood? As always, from the Buttered Home to your home, we sure love y'all. Bye.